Hello learners, NIOS welcomes you to Painting Subject video series. This is lesson 18, Composition, part 3. We will now summarize the lesson and discuss the questions and answers. What have you learnt? What is composition? Composition is the placement or arrangement of visual elements or ingredients in any work of art. How depth in a landscape painting is depicted and how the artist plays with the form and how he or she represents anything in a work of art is called composition. The term composition simply means putting together and applies to any work of art. So, putting together shapes, lines, colors, etc. In art and craft, we use many different materials, and the visual appearance, that is what the eyes see and what the brain decodes, can be reduced to 6 elements. These are: first, line; second, shape; third, form; next, space; next, colors; and finally, texture. So, putting together all these elements, these 6 elements in any work of art, composition also has 6 principles. These principles are: let us take an example of a landscape work. To illustrate, the first principle is unity. Then balance. Balance is important. If a landscape work, we have to ensure the size, the proportion, the figures of perhaps some birds which are being drawn or the tree which is depicted, there has to be balance. Third is harmony. Again, in a landscape work, a natural scenery is depicted. You would see flora and fauna, and there is harmony. Next is contrast. Now, the tree is green, the ground is brown, the sky is blue. There are different colors which are used, and if there is something dry or if there is depth which is being depicted, you have to use contrast. Next principle is a landscape painting. Perhaps the artist wants to depict a cottage in the woods, so the cottage would be emphasized upon. And the last principle is repetition. Repetition could be a motif, for example, a flower motif or the design of a flower being used again and again in a work of art. and these are the 6 principles of composition. Now we start discussing the questions. Question number 1 related to still life. What kind of objects can be used in still life? Question number 2. Who is considered as one of the famous artists of still life? Question number 3. What is the fruit plate placed on? Question number 4. What is the color of background leaves? Question number 5. What is the size of this painting? Answers. First answer, natural objects like flowers, vegetables, fruits, etc. or manufactured items like books, bottles, crockery, etc. can be used for still life painting. Answer number 2. One of the most famous artists of still life is Paul Cézanne. Answer number 3. The fruit plate is placed on a yellow wooden plank. Question number 4. The background leaves are of grey, a grey shade has been used. Answer number 5. The size of this painting is 38.5 centimeters into 46.5 centimeters. Questions related to landscape art. Question number 1. What is a landscape painting? Question number 2. What kind of places are featured in landscapes? Question number 3. Name 5 famous landscape artists. Question number 4. How many human figures are shown in this painting? Question number 5. What is the role of the aerial perspective? Question number 6. What is the color of the background sky? Answers. Answer number 1. A landscape painting is a representation of nature. Answer number 2. Natural objects like inland scenery, trees, mountains, deserts, depict natural objects like inland sceneries, trees, mountains, deserts, oceans, meadows, etc. Answer number 3. 5 famous artists of landscape paintings: Claude Monet, J.M.W. Turner, John Constable, Claude Lorraine and Gilbert Gall. These were the 5 famous artists who loved landscape. In this painting, how many human figures can we see? We see 2 human figures, really small, near the huge trees. Answer number 5. The aerial perspective. In a landscape, when you are trying to depict a natural scenery, you are depicting space or depth on a 2D surface. Paper has only length and width, but the artist, by depicting the huge trees, besides which you see the cottage, behind which are the woods, and then in the background there is a light sky. This space, this illusion has been created by the aerial perspective, which is giving a 3D kind of an effect in a 2-dimensional surface. Answer number 6. The background sky is a vignette light blue. Questions related to illustration. Question number 1. What is the use of illustration? Question number 2. Write 2 multiple uses of illustration. Question number 3. What are the mediums of creating illustration? Question number 4. Akbar crossing Ganges. This is part of which manuscript? Question number 5. In this illustration, what is drawn larger than size? Question number 6. What is the color of Akbar's turban? Answer number 1. An illustrator uses art, design and creative skills to communicate ideas. For example, pollution is a growing issue and many of us are ignorant about it. We are desecrating nature. These become ideas for illustrators to communicate important ideas and impact the thinking of people. Answer number 2. Illustrations are used in books, in catalogs, in magazines and advertising, etc. Medium of creating illustration. There are 2. First is manual, that is using our hands to illustrate, and the second is digital medium or using technology like Adobe, Photoshop, etc. So, there are two mediums, manual and digital medium. Answer number 4. Akbar crossing the Ganges illustration is taken from Akbar Nama. Answer number 5. In this painting, you would see that the rest of the group is smaller as compared to the royal elephant and the emperor, who are depicted larger. Answer number 6. The turban on the emperor's head is brown in color. Questions related to the abstract composition. Question number 1. What kind of objects can be used in abstract composition? Question number 2. Who is considered the most famous artist of abstract composition? Question number 3. What is the dominating factor in this painting? Question number 4. What are the abstract images depicted on the hilltop? Question number 5. What is the color effect of this composition? Answers. Answer number 1. Abstraction of objects can be slight, partial or complete. For example, if we take any kind of object, the artist has the liberty to play with the shape or form. For example, a house can be placed on the roof, on its roof. Answer number 2. The famous artist of abstract compositions is Vasily Kandinsky. Answer number 3. The dominating factor in this painting are the two steeply rising mountains. Answer number 4. On top of both the hilltops, you have a rider on a white horse and a church on the other hilltop. Answer number 5. The color effect of this composition is rainbow. I hope you enjoyed watching part 3. If you have any queries, please email us at signlanguage@nios.ac.in. For more information, you may visit our website www.nios.ac.in. Thank you.